Hi. Hello there. How you doing? Huh? How art thou? Let me just do something to my microphone there. 2. 1, 2, 2. Ooh. Ooh. 2, 2. 2, 2. Okay, there we go. Hi. Oh dear. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, headphone users. I'm good, thank you. Really good. I tell you what is going off at the moment. I can't stick to my diet at the moment, so I'm not going to give myself a hard time about it. So I'm having some cookies. I was on intermittent fasting, right? So I don't get hungry at all till about, like, I could easily go till 4 p.m. without eating. But then as soon as I start eating, I love it. But the problem for me with intermittent fasting is if I do that, I know I'm allowed to eat what I want within those 4 hours. So I do 20 hours not eating and 4 hours for 4 hours of the day. One after another hours, I'm allowed to eat. So I usually eat like from 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. But because I know I'm allowed to eat what I want, I always make shitty choices. Whereas when I do another kind of diet where I just eat no carbs, very low carbs, not keto. Like I wouldn't do keto, but really low carbs and like low fat. I make really good decisions with my food because if I can't eat carbs, I'll eat loads of salmon, leafy greens, smoothies and stuff like that. So I think after I've eaten all of my stuff that I've bought, I've got these and then I've got I know where the flapjacks are. They're upstairs in the cupboard. They're singing to me. Once they're gone, I think on Thursday I'll start eating no carbs again. But not today. Hi, fraggers. I hope you guys are good. I'm a proper salad dodger. Yeah, do you know what it is? It's just learning to train your brain to want to eat different things. I still look at my salad and go, like when it's in the fridge before I've prepared it, and I'm like, I can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered. But then as soon as I'm eating it, I'm like, oh, this is really nice. And it makes me feel better in my body. I always have a cheat day. Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesdays is my only day off. And I always have a cheat day on a Wednesday. I usually have a curry. But honestly, it's just about learning how to be okay. It's because we fool ourselves into thinking we don't want to eat healthily. But once you get used to it, and I know this because I oscillate between eating healthily and eating not healthily all the time. But the main thing is, for me, it doesn't really make... Like, as soon as I've lost the weight, I go, oh shit, I've lost loads of weight now, and now I can eat what I want, and then it goes back on again because the pattern's not like amended yet. So if I think of it in terms of how does it make me feel when I eat healthily, even from day one when I eat healthily, my brain fires better. I feel more energetic. It felt the same starting to eat healthily as it did when I gave up smoking. I remember when I gave up smoking, my energy levels went through the roof. Through the roof. And also stopping drinking as well. So I'm already at a level where I feel pretty good all of the time. But I notice it so much more when I start eating cookies. I know, like, by tonight, I'm going to be flagging. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If you are going to eat badly or do things that aren't good for you, just do it mindfully. Just do it mindfully. and you'll learn from it. But right now, I'm not learning fuck all. Right now, I'm enjoying my rainbow cookie. Hi, Sigam T. How are you doing? Yeah, do it in style. God, yeah. You got to. Hello, the direct MC. Yeah, we all learn eventually. Once you've suffered enough pain with it, we all learn eventually. And then we don't. Do you know what? If we can take one thing away from this today, I'm telling you now, I've forgotten what I was going to say. I will remember. Hang on. Everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. Apart from mercury. And other things. And this does not apply if you are in abstinence-based recovery. But generally, everything in moderation. Don't deny yourself things. Or a better way to put that would be allow yourself to have and do things, because in the not doing it, you're just suppressing it. Do you get me? It's a bit like if someone is inwardly gay and they know that they're inwardly gay, but they're not allowing themselves to be gay. What happens? It either makes them self-resentful, or they do it in secret. My point is, don't try and suppress that. Be okay with allowing yourself these things, but be mindful. It does do you good. Yeah, exactly. It really does. Yes, a little bit of what you fancy does you good. Exactly, Cheryl. Yeah, you're supposed to be listening, Rennie. Take it on board or leave it. It's fine. Another thing as well, now I'm saying that. Oh, my personal addictions they won't fully go away. They've got a lot better over the years. Like I said, I don't drink and I don't smoke anymore. I don't take recreational drugs anymore. However, smoking this vape a lot. And it's got 2%, whatever it is in it, nicotine. How long are you sober? It's weird to say it in that way because I didn't really get sober. But let's say okay, so I stopped smoking 4 years ago. I do drink still, but I only drink from July. So every year for the last 3 years, I just got bored of it, basically, is really what happened. I got bored of it and it was causing issues in my life a little bit. So I was just I think I was using drink and recreational drugs to get away from residual, in my personal, for me, it was delayed grief after losing my mum when I was very young. And then I made a few romantic bad decisions. And then I met Guy, my partner now. We've been together for 10 years now. And neither of it, we're very boring now. But my God, we went through a lot together. But I think for me, it probably started phasing out maybe about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, mainly around the time when I did ayahuasca. So bad romance, yeah. I used to smoke the herb. Again, what I'm saying is, and it's probably not very legally correct of me to say this, but I really honestly believe that you have, in this life, you have autonomy to do with your body what you want, as long as you're not hurting yourself and you're not hurting other people. I don't judge anyone. However, I would be the first to say to someone, look, sort it out. stop being naughty if it was becoming a thing. But yeah, everything's addictive now. This sugar at the moment for me, I'm like, oh yeah. Caffeine. You know? But don't be hard on yourselves. Unless you need to be. So, today, hello Ems. I've not said hello to everyone in the chat because we've been talking. Well, I've been talking at you. We have got, you know who's on tonight. I put the people's names out there. Yeah, it's DJM the creator. It is hard when you are around someone who is suffering. And again, before we get into the music, that is something that I am a big believer in. I think that that addiction should be treated as a mental health thing and not as a criminal thing. So there, you may talk amongst yourselves in the chat about that one. But yeah, for me, that's what I think. Okay, first up, we have got Azimuth Man, and this is Arctica. Wow. Wow, we were. Yeah, Azimuth Man's been on before. I don't think he's in the chat at the moment. I just want to say thank you very much to Danny F. Can we get F's in the chat, please? For Danny F. Thank you for 28 months, mate. Thank you. Thank you also to Ruari Sturton for following. F. There we go. So yeah, make sure you go and follow Azimuth Man on SoundCloud. So for those of you who've sent me your tracks for today, send me a whisper now and give me your social links, socials, so that when your track's playing, I can stick them in the chat, because a big part of what we do is we give each other support, make sure we're all following each other, support each other's music, buy each other's music, share it out, collab with each other. Some of you are record label owners, same as me. You know, that's what this is all about, sharing ideas. A think tank, if you will. Which was actually the very first track, the name of the very first track I ever made. It was called Think Tank, and it was on Dance EJ. And I tried saving it over 2 floppy disks, and it never opened again. It's my little story. I was about 13. Long time ago. When he says, personally, there wasn't anything I would change on that track. Yeah, I agreed a bit with Bosky. I think said the kick was getting a bit lost in that. Now, Bosky and I are both DJs, or you know, we're producers in the hard dance arena. So for us, it would seem logical to have a kick that's more prominent. However, I think that's more of a stylistic, subjective thing, rather than it being something that technically needed to be amended, which is still valid. Hello, Sauli Music. How are you doing? I was looking at getting Music 2000 for the PS1. I hope that's well, do you know what? Number one, definitely do that. I've still got a PS1. I love playing on like really old games and stuff. But number two, definitely get something a bit more modern. But don't listen to me as well, because I still have a lot of the sample packs from Dance EJ, and a lot of them are amazing. Can't go wrong with Fruity. Well, we don't call it Fruity anymore. I don't care if you call it Fruity, but I know a lot of people that use FL Studio get really funny about calling it, there you go, FL Studio. Actually, it's come a long way. And it has. I love Fruity. Yeah, Ableton's great. Ableton's great as well. It's Fruity Loops and they know it. I use both. I love Ableton for so many workflow things, and part of my uni course at the moment we're using Max for Live and like Patcher to like make our own plugins, and a lot of it's very maths based and nodes and stuff, but it's really interesting. It is really interesting. However, I feel possibly that well, if I was going to do like live performance stuff, I have done some live performance for uni as well. For that, it can be really useful because you can like make yourself a plugin that will do exactly what you want it to do. And this is the reason why I like Ableton's, because of how boundless the possibilities are. However, FL Studio also has Patcher, which works similarly, but probably not on a uniform and global scale the way that Ableton does. Now, someone told me the other day that, and this is I think this has been around for a while, that there's a program that will convert a Fruity FLP into project file into an Ableton project file. Which I think is amazing. I've never used it, but I want to see I want to see if it works. Because so many times I've been doing something and thinking I really should be using Ableton for this. Oh, that's cool, Cheryl. Yeah, it was Pat, wasn't it? Pat was saying about it. So, stop it, Rennie. But I've seen people going back to using trackers. If anyone remembers the down-up trackers. And Kid Dynamo, who's in the chat, he uses Acid Pro. I'd like that for Cubase to Ableton. Have you moved over from Cubase to Ableton, Jem? Cool. Yeah, that's... I think, like... Well, I was going to say something about someone that came in the chat a while ago on my gaming channel and was... You know when someone's just been... Ooh, what are you using that door for? That's a toy door. Like, we were talking about Ableton, and I didn't dare tell him that my favourite one was FL Studio. Rennie, stop it! Stop. Rennie knows who I'm on about here because he was in my gaming channel when this guy came in. He's actually quite a good trance producer, like not that well known, but it was just the attitude of it. You know, the attitude that he had was because he used Cubase, and he was saying, "Oh, I know, I can always tell when something's been made on Ableton." And I was like, bullshit. Like, people master stuff after it's come out of their door that they've been working with, and how can you tell? Like, the audio engines are so similar, if not the same these days. It wasn't Jeffrey, no. Thank you, the Audio Brothers. Exactly. And then people send stuff off to be mastered anyway. So at that point, it wouldn't matter. You can't tell from a render, from a project, from which door it's come from. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I swear to God, I don't think I am. It's kind of the same as people, and I know that people can. I'm not one of these people, but I know that there are people out there who can tell the difference between a WAV and a 320 kbps MP3. I find that really difficult, but my hearing is quite shit. But yeah, he's well. The music that I've heard, I'm gonna give him his props. His music's like, it was generic though. It was generic stuff, but he's on medium kind of like trance labels. Like, no disrespect to his music at all. Like, it was just his attitude. You know, it was just the attitude. And he even said, "Oh, trust me, little doll. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Huh? Ableton is just a toy door." And I was like, "Oh, no, go away!" Oh. But obviously, I was being professional. So I just went, okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Hi if you're watching. He'll know who he is. Yeah, a real door. I know. Oh, don't. Yeah, because when he said it, I thought he was going to say, like, he used, I don't know, a Mackie Total Recall 54 channel studio desk or something, and everything was organically analog recorded from vegan fucking cables, gold-plated vegan cables that were brought up in Tibet, you know? No. But yeah, that's interesting then, Jem, that you said that you've moved from Cubase to Ableton. That was my point. I digressed. Yeah, it was just a know-it-all person. It's, you know what it's like, Jem, especially being a girl in this industry. Sometimes you just get, trust me, just shh. No, just trust me. We can tell when it's been made on Ableton, okay? Yeah, you stick with me, kid. Oh. Okay, next up, we have got someone who I absolutely love, Isaac Trapkid. He's not been in for a while. I absolutely love his stuff, and he's sent in another track that he's made. I think it's what's the style? Dancehall, I think it's called. But yeah, he's really cool. Okay, this is Isaac Trapkid, and it's called Her Body.
Her body like a planet, and she walking like a duck. I'm in love with her body. Don't be rude, don't be mad. I gon' need you in my life. I gon' treat you like a queen. I gon' make you be my queen. And forever I gon' love you. Girl, I'm in love with her body. Body to body, you walk. Ooh, I be your fire in the body. Letting the body take off. Ooh, get in the car, let me drive you. I got some money for candies. Get in the car, we go party. I need somebody to love, somebody to touch, somebody to hold. Take you to church and I'm married today. I need somebody in my life, yeah. I need somebody to love, yeah. I need somebody in my life, yeah. I need somebody to love, yeah. Use the money you got me, letting nobody take off. Oh God, let me love you. Oh God, let me hold you. Got you need somebody by your body. I think I'm somebody who's me. I'm here to see that be looking for love. Got you the best and I say you the one. She give me her number, guess what? She picking my calls. Yeah. Tell me you need me. Tell me we go. Got you need some loving, and forever I go love you. I go treat you like a queen. Make you a mother to my kids. We go make you no more stress. Future brain and no more stress. No more brain and no more gas. I need a girl, I need somebody in my life. I need the cash, I got the money in the bank. I gotta live my the best, oh yeah. Baby, you my soul, give me a heart, yeah. Give me a problem, let me do so. I need a girlfriend, gotta be scared. I'm in a home, I need a girlfriend. I need somebody in my life, I need some love. I am on too. I need somebody. Let me love you. Oh God, let me hold you. God, let me hold you. Let me stand by your side. Let me be your hero, and forever that promise I'll be by your side. Little buddy, ever touch you, little buddy, ever hurt you, little buddy, ever touch you, I'll be your.
Aww, Isaac Trap Kid. I really, really, really like that. It's not my usual style of music that I DJ, but it's a type of music that I'm aware of, and you know, I hear it because I've got kids, and it's nice. You know, like, is it drill? Is it drill that it's called? Like with the hi-hats doing the kind of, oh, what's it called? I can't remember. I remember I had to make some of this style of music in trap. Yeah, I had to make some of this style of music, and there's something specific about the hi-hats, in the way that they. It's just, I can't remember what the word is. Basically, it's to do with the way that the trap door. Brilliant, Kelly. Yeah, it's like the slippery skippity hi-hat. Exponential, that was the word. Exponential hi-hat. So the way that they kind of like speed up and slow down. It's like a specific thing for this type of music. He does his own vocals. He writes his own lyrics. All I'll say is, like, I love the hook. I love, I don't want to call it the chorus. It sounds more like a middle eight or a bridge. This bit. Oh, let me just find it. This bit.
I am unto, I need somebody. I need a girl, I need somebody in my life. I must, I need a friend, I need somebody. Oh God, let me love you. Oh God, let me hug you.
Yeah, I love that. I guess it is the chorus. It feels more like a middle eight, but the only thing is, I think around about 1:56, you've got a little bit of fine tuning of the timing of your vocal.
I need a girl, I need somebody in my life. I need a cash, I got a money to bank, I gotta live my the best.
Just there, it's really slight, but you're coming in before the first transient of the kick.
I need a girl, I need somebody in my life. I need a cash, I got a money to bank, I gotta live my the.
It's really, really subtle, but that, once that's dealt with, it's done. It's done. It's a really, really nice track. I loved it. Hi, Tripmunk. Is there a reason my mate Ruari can't chat? Ooh, I don't know. Oh, there you are. How you doing, mate? Yeah, it's off pulse. I've never heard it being called that before. The way that jazz musicians, I think, call it is playing in the pocket or singing in the pocket, or whatever it is. But yeah, sometimes we don't really hear stuff like that. Like, I pick up on it quite quickly because I work with audio a lot. I've spent many a happy hour day going through vocals and time stretching. Again, Ableton's quite good for this because of the warping thing that it gives you. But I really, really still love just messing around with doing that kind of thing in Fruity. It's pronounced Rory. Got it. But yeah, I really, really like that. Thank you very much, Trap Kid, for sending that in. You are so talented. Please, please, guys, go and give him a follow on Facebook right now. He's so cute. He really is. He's a cute little. You just want to smush your little face. He's so sweet. And yes, he's very talented as well. Okay, next up we have got JLF and Eagles. Cool. Well done, mate. That's JLF and Eagles. I've written down a few things that stick out to me. So the way that I like to give back some feedback is when I'm listening to it as a whole, what sticks out to me as jerking me or a bit off. Like anything else will be down to my personal preferences of how I like to make music. But from the level of what needs to be sorted out, I felt like, well, I didn't feel, I could hear that there were some issues with the sub-bass notes. So you've got I think your bass progression roll goes over 8 bars. So in the second half, when you do... There it is as well. It's on the... It's on bars 3 and 4 in the sub. Yeah, there's definitely a clash there with the chords in your piano. And this bit. So in that section as well, also the sub bass is not following the progression of the piano, which can be like, that happens sometimes when we are doing chords. So sub bass or all bass, if all of the are all of your bass layers following the same pattern, double check that first, because you might have made a mistake. You think it's all the same. I would definitely have all of them doing the same pattern. So if you've got your layers, just go back in and just check in the piano roll that every single one is, because it is just a section of it that this is happening in. So just double check. If you can't hear, because it's difficult in sub layers, because some sub layers can sound, and even if you're using samples as well, sometimes the samples are very slightly not tuned right. So what I would do is go into the sub layer, knock it back up an octave or 2 octaves, and then you'll be able to hear it a lot better. And you should follow the bottom note of the piano. Depends. It depends on what's the most dominant. Yeah. It's a very simple bass progression. So I honestly think when you go into it, you'll just go, oh, yeah, it's on the wrong note. It's just on the wrong note for some of those. But yeah, try doing it from the bottom notes of the piano. I don't think a spectrum analyzer will work with this. I think it would be, this is a tuning issue. This is a tuning issue. Yeah, it does sound like, well, there's just literally, it will be a really easy fix, but it does need to get sorted out, because it's just, it's obvious, but it's a really, really quick fix. I like the acid. I really, really like that acid that came in, wherever it was. This one. Okay. Yeah, it's doing it again here because you've changed the pattern of your piano. Your piano's now repeating over. Da, 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 da. But you've overcomplicated that bass progression. So have your bass progression, to have your bass doing the very first two notes. So it'll be da 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 da. If that makes sense. And also, cool. Yeah, you've just overcomplicated. This is what happens as soon as we start putting melody and then bass progressions into our project. There's a lot more things that can go wrong, and then you've got the frequency of certain notes, especially in this sub world, can sometimes sound like you've lost the power of it, or there's too much power in it. And at that point, sometimes it's helpful to render it down, put it on another channel, and then you've got more control over that. That happens a lot if you're using samples, because as soon as you start like going too far up or too far down from the original sample, it can sound a bit weird. Yeah, and so the Audio Brothers has mentioned the next thing that I wrote down as well. The piano came in a bit hot and acid sample drowned a bit. So I was going to say that when the piano comes in that breakdown, it would sound really cool to have like a reverse reverb. So get yourself a nice reverb. I'm sure you know already how to do this. Bounce down that first note with a really nice long reverb. Put it back into the project again, reverse it, take off the tail end of that. Zip. Nice introduction into that. You're weird, Dr. Drucklut. Yeah, weird. Of course, weird's good, but you've got to know the rules to break the rules as well. And this is just helpful for JLF to get to the next stage of his production, because these are the things that will be picked out instantly by a DJ and by a record label. Reverb in reverse. Love Life reboot. Yes, bless you. Yeah, cool. Yeah, give that a go, because it will, and that's really good for vocals as well. So when we're putting in a vocal, and the vocals just been introduced for the first time in the arrangement, can be a bit much sometimes, especially if we're not like expecting it. So just doing that nice little reverse reverb trick. Introduce, jarring, good word. My music theory is a bit rubbish still. I think you are nearly there, mate. I really do. The issues that you are having are the right issues to be having. These are the issues that every single producer has come up against and will overcome, because the fact that we're making mistakes means that we learn from them. Nobody's born being really, 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 apart from probably Beethoven. But I still think Beethoven probably wouldn't understand the complexities of FL Studio or Fruity Loops or Ye Olde Fruity Loops. It would have been then if he was presented with it. Basically, what I'm saying is we have to learn this stuff. We have to do it. And he was deaf, I know, right? It's not fair, is it? But all he had was music theory, because it's just a piano, isn't it? So, like, for him, limitation was breeding, like, his creativity there, 100%. But for us, we've got loads of other things that we can, like, busy ourselves with. But you get this right, mate, and you'll be laughing, I promise you. Yes, all of us have to be okay with being dumb at this for a certain amount of time. We have to, because otherwise you won't ever do it. because it's hard, especially it's really hard being vulnerable enough to put your music onto a program, a channel like this, in front of other people and get everyone to listen to it. So everything that we say is always through enthusiasm to get people to be better producers. Yeah, it is the best way. I used to hate it though. I used to be very, very shy about showing anything that I was doing. Purely because I wouldn't be able to take it if I got told, oh, that's not very good. It would hurt me on an egoic level of like, it felt like it was taking something from me. But yeah, I got over myself, and you know, this is why we do this show. It really is like, I mean, I'm very tolerant of people, you know, being able to say what they want in the chat on all the other shows that I do. However, when it's in here, if I see anyone saying anything that's not helpful, I just ban them straight away. I really do. It's so important that this, I think in other areas of life, you know, being critiqued is okay because it helps you to not be a dick. But when it comes to this kind of thing, this is too a vulnerable place. But we're all here to help. So we mentioned the piano being the same as vocals as well. And I know a lot of you guys were, you know, saying the same things that I've been saying here. Reverse. Oh yeah, the other thing as well was at 440 you have a hi-hat roll. That if you're gonna use that, I would go for like a more snarey sound instead of using a closed hi-hat. But if you want to use that sound, then do a volume envelope on that, on this. And also maybe just play with the pattern a bit, make it a bit more interesting, because at the moment it's just it would be, you don't even need to play with the pattern. Like the only thing that's sticking out badly for me there is it's just in for too long. It just needs more of a slope on the volume envelope of that. That's it. So it's crashes. Okay, take that out then, and replace with a nice snare. Do a nice snare roll into that. Yeah, crashes are too, you want something that's more like mid-ranged, like, I mean, it works, don't get me wrong, that would work perfectly if it just had more of a volume envelope on it, just sloping it in a little bit more. That's all that you need to do. Like, it works, it just needed to be, yeah. And so the Direct MCs has put a snare roll with a nice reverse crash. Yes, you just reminded me I need to put some reverse crashes in a remix I'm doing. Yeah, and don't have your effects too high, because the thing is sometimes, like, and I like that fill, that's quite a nice fill. Yeah, I like that. Sometimes the effects are the last thing that we put in, so we can end up like putting them in really, really too high in volume because we're listening to them and we're like, oh yeah, I need to hear that. Hi Tom Sleeps, how are you doing? Your tune's in today, isn't it? So yeah, I've gone on for a long time on that, but there was quite a bit to get through on that. But all of that's all helpful information for all of us, because we all, you know, and there might be someone that's very, very new to production who's listening to this, and that will be helpful for them as well. So yeah, once those things are done, and they're all very minimal things, arrangement's great, the vocals brilliant, your M1 piano is lovely, and I like the fact that you've got a proper M1 piano. And am I right in saying that you've got an actual M1 piano that you're using? Because if you have, then like that's a lovely center or focus for your music, you know, which is really cool. It's a real M1. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I've got the VST, but it's so finicky to use it that sometimes I don't use it. Say what now? Kid Dynamo is going to be your best friend now. But yeah, what a great thing for you to have as like the main focus of your music. So I think that this will be like a constant thing for you. Like I love playing in stuff. I've got like my little Minotaur here for my bass lines. Well, not just bass lines, but anything really. And then my 303 that you usually see me rocking on the Wiki Wah. But for me, it helps me to commit to what the fuck this project's going to be, you know, because otherwise you can just end up changing everything all of the time and nothing ever gets done. So to have something, to have some kind of focus is really, really nice. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we've got Gemstone. And this is called Global Theme. Gem, can you make sure that you whisper me your socials so I can tell everyone where to follow you and stuff? Thank you. Cool. That is Gemstone's remix of Global Theme. The energy in that is perfect. Like, that's like the epiphany, or the epitome of this style of hard house. Is that drive and that energy, especially when it was in your fills, your like the introductions from one section to the next, it just like whew, like bam, you know, it just catapults you there, which is great. However, I can see from the waveform, like the beginning and the end are really, really quiet until your bass comes in. And then the same on the way out. So all I think from this is, I think there's a bit of a mix down issue, because everything, all the parts sound amazing. Like the energy's there, the arrangement's obviously perfect for this style, but it feels like the mix down needs to be redone. I don't know what your setup's like at the moment. Yeah, you definitely need to do it fresh. This sounds like something that I do myself when I'm working on something for too long, and I start changing shit, and then I mix it down and I'm not happy with it again. This just sounds like you've been working on it for a bit too long and you need to rest your ears and go back to it, and then listen to another track in this style, you know the drill, and then just do an A and B, because it just feels like it's we've got like this amazing sub bassy, like whack you in the face driving bass line, but I feel that you're compensating having that, like you're it's not allowing the other parts to come in. It's not allowing the other frequency ranges from like your mids to be present. Turning things up usually means something else is sitting in the way, preventing you from hearing it properly. Yeah. That's all this is. It's just, just go and have it. Just double check everything. Just leave it though. Leave it for maybe 2 days at least, and then listen to it in another room, or listen to it passively. Don't sit in front of the project. Have this bounce down version and then listen to it, and you'll hear what we're hearing. It's lacking some of the information in the mids. That's it. Yeah, easy fix, but this is another part of being a producer, when you want to get something done and you're really excited, and we don't let our ears rest. Do you know, I have a track that I made. It's probably one of my favourite house tracks that I've ever made, and I left it in a whip folder for over a year, and I forgot I'd made it, and I fucking hated it. I was like, oh God, I'll never do it right. I'll never do it right. So I left it in my whips folder, then started on something else like the next day. And then I had an idea where I'd just do a search on my computer for all of my whips. Whips means work in progress. So I'd made a search for all of my whips, and then got all of my whips, all the rendered like tracks that were all done, you know, to the point of when I left that project and started another one. And I put them all into a folder and then just played them all one after the other while I was like tidying up the studio. And then this one track came on and I was like, oh my God, like, I wish I could make something like that. I remember thinking that and I was like, this is one of your tracks. This is your Whips thing. And I went through it and there was nothing wrong with it. There was nothing wrong with it. It was done. It was done. But I wasn't able to psychologically put it down. And this is another thing that we need to all... Yes, Whips. That's what it means, work in progress. This is another part of... This is the philosophy of being a music producer. This is why I love talking like this with you guys and to other producers when I'm around them about the trials and tribulations, which is nothing to do with the technical aspect or whatever DAW you're using or any of that. It's also, all of this is a parallel journey into self-discovery, I feel, because you've also got to know when you're done with something. When it's done, stop fucking with it. You know? Stop fucking with it. Stop picking at it. Give it some time. Hi, Malin. And that comes with just holding back from it. And also in the early stages of making a track, I'm not going to say this in a negative way. I'm going to say it in a positive way. Give your projects enough time to come into fruition. So have your blue sky thinking sessions where you will not make any judgments on yourself and what you're doing. So you'll just be curious. Let these ideas flow. But give it enough time, because so many silly ideas that we have, oh God, yeah, that'd be a good idea for a track. And then it takes one person, usually yourself, to go, oh, that's a stupid idea. That'll never work. You're not giving it enough idea. You're not giving it enough time for that idea to come into fruition. There you go, Chris. There you go. But it's hard. It's hard because you just want to do it. You know, you just want to do it all the time. Yeah. Sometimes those are the best tunes. Jem, you know this. Kid Dynamo showed me a track about 2 years ago now. He sent me a track. And this track was in his Whips folder. Works in progress folder. And this track was called Love So Deep. He sent it to me and I was like, this track's amazing. And then it was sent to Dave and it's now a global success. He's got people in the tech house world playing this track that he sent to me first to play it. Because in his words, he's in the chat. He should be in the chat. Where are you, Kid Dynamo? He didn't think it was finished. He was going to fuck around with it more. And I was like, no, it's done. Bish, bash, bosh. This is probably why we need each other to kind of like keep ourselves, you know. There he is. There he is. Look. You'd have ended up ruining it. You thought it needed an acid line. It probably would sound really nice with an acid line, but it didn't need one. Like, I think for me, with that track, Kid Dynamo, it's about that riff. Bam, 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 bam. But it's the sound that you used in it as well. Amber's exact words in caps were "change nothing," was it? Oh, I thought I would say that. There you go. So I'm going to take full props for that track, even though I had nothing to do with making it. You're welcome. Next up, well done, Jem. Thank you for sending that in. But yeah, give it a couple of days, babes. You'll nail it. Hello, Kawaii. How are you doing? Kawaii Arkla Goth. Next up, we have got Beat Hustler. This is my driver, Ryan. Now, a little bit of a backstory about Ryan, aka Beat Hustler. He did not make music at all until he became my driver, and he came to my studio and we sat here and I was making, I don't know, some donk tune, and he was like, do you know what, I could get into this FL studio. I'm like, yeah, do it. And he did. He went away, and like he has he's really good at graphic design. So this is another interesting thing about transferring skills. So Ryan is a really good graphic designer. So he does like the flyers for events that he runs at Donny Warehouse, and he does logos for people and all that. Like his work's really, really, really good. Really good. And I knew from that, because I've seen that people doing this who were able to transfer that skill before. I can't. I fucking hate Photoshop. I really do. I love film editing. I really, really do. I'm very passionate about that, but I just don't get on well with Photoshop at all. I've not given it enough time though, really. Oh, did he? JLF says he did my logo. Yeah, he's amazing. So he went away. I sent him off with a load of samples and stuff, and like literally I was just getting messages after message and like videos on WhatsApp of like stuff he was doing. I was like, mate, that's ridiculous. Like he got so good so quickly. And he's not got any music theory background. He wings it in his own words. Did he? Right. Okay. So Ryan also did Kid Dynamo's one as well. Yeah, I don't like graphics either, Jem. It's annoying. But yeah, let's have a listen to it and see what you guys think. Hang on, he's sent me. I've just remembered. He sent me a new version of it. Hang on, let me just have a look on my phone, because he didn't want me to play this one. Hang on. Bear with me. Where is he? Bet he's wanking. Hi, I'm gonna have to play the other one because we're doing it now. So make sure you get on the stream now. Stop wanking. Love you. Cool. Okay, here we go. I know he's got in from work because he sent me a message earlier. Let me just refresh my. Oh, I know what he's done. I bet he sent it to my Facebook. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. We send it. It's a new one I've not heard of. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves. What's the date today? 28th. It's going in there. Why has he sent me a zip file? It's one fucking... Oh, boys. What is he sending me here? Okay, here we go. go. That is, what's it called? Hard Bass Bitch by Beat Hustler. My driver, Ryan. My driver, Ryan, who I think I have driven for the same amount of times as he's driven me to gigs. Because I don't drink. So I'm like, oh, just come with me. I'll just drive. All right then. I have, Kelly. Yeah, Max is looking sharp at the moment. It's a bit long for bounce. Let's have a look. Okay, so let's do a bit of yeah, okay, so it's 7 minutes long. So I would agree with you there, JLF. So it is a bit long, but this is kind of like the length of tracks from, I guess, like we call it Birmingham bounce. So people like Charlie Bosch, Kai Shand, Tom Berry. Tom Berry's is usually around about 7 minutes. Could be wrong. Justin Daniels, that kind of stuff. Because it's I call it hard house bounce. So I have bounce, which is the more like heads up style, or Benjamin, Kenny Hayes, KB Project, Alex K. You know, that's bounce for me. And then hard house bounce is this kind of sound. So even though it is quite long, Jake, aka Kid Dynamo, mentioned that there were a lot of drops and there were a lot of different ideas. And it didn't feel repetitive, but it could be whittled down. The 16 intro versus the 32 stuff, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, usually like the bounce, like bounce will be 16 bars into the first breakdown, whereas I find with the hard house bounce stuff, it's definitely more arranged in hard house. So at 32 bars, the bass will come in. It won't have an early break because we can do long mixes with it then. Birmingham bounce, there's more subgenres in hard house. Oh God, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm only calling it Birmingham bounce because that's something that I've picked up from being in and around Birmingham. But I would categorize it in my archives as hard house bounce. So I have hard house groovy, UK hard house trance, which is like technical, Charlie Goddard, that kind of stuff. And then hard house harder, which is like your nails, your more energy, that kind of stuff. And hard house bounce, yeah, that's my way of categorizing them for me. So yeah, pokey is a type of bounce. So for bounce, you'd have pokey, scatterdonk, scouse house, but all of those terminologies are used based upon a person's experience, time in the scene, age, location, not sex. I was going to the ASL thing there from AOL. Doesn't matter. If you're young, you won't get the reference. But this is when like people start arguing about what genre something is, and I don't get involved in it anymore because everyone's got their own label. They've got their own words for genres. Unless it's really obvious, like if someone's saying that something's techno and it's obviously hard trance. Even though techno, like you couldn't have hard trance without techno. It would be, you know, if it was obvious, then I'd say, no, you're wrong. Bouncy bounce. Minimal bounce. That would be fun. Yeah, but the labels are just there mainly for record labels, distribution, just so like, and for people to know what you are as an artist. The artists themselves don't really, it's not really like, unless it is a thing that that you want to, you know, define yourself as, which is fine as well. So, progressive electro bounce. Oh, God. Make me some of that, JLF. So, yeah, Ryan, well done. I really like this. I love the ideas. I know that Ryan's told me that he's very humble with it. He said, oh, he just like wings it. But the reason why he got a good sound quickly, other than, you know, the fact that he has got some transferable skills and he's very passionate about this, is he used very specific sample packs. So he didn't, like, this is a mistake I made when I very first started learning how to produce, was I didn't understand how important it was to have the right samples. So I didn't understand that if you wanted to make an authentic hard house tune, for example, you can't be using dead mouse pre-shifted claps, for example, and EDM pack stuff, even down to the one shots percussion elements, because you want 909 hi-hats, open hats, reversed hats. It needs to be authentic. So having some really good sample packs from some of your favorite artists will massively help you in those early days. And I think, well, I know from what he's told me, that's how he's took away a lot of the guesswork quite quickly. So that's a good way of starting out in your journey. Don't feel that you have to make everything from scratch, you know, using synths and not using presets and all the rest of it. I did it the hard way, and I'm glad I did now, but like 10 years ago it was not fun. It wasn't fun at all. I didn't have a lot of fun with it for a while, but you know, it's all different ways of learning. If you want quicker results, go and get yourself some good sample packs. So yeah, it's a bit easier now to get better results quicker, especially in this day and age. But it's also really fun to go and like rip your own samples from vinyl. I love having sessions where I'll get all my old house vinyls out, funky house, and find loops, and you know, even if it's just for brainstorming ideas. But it's a really good starting point, but you will naturally want to learn more in-depth, skillful parts of music production, which is the point where it starts becoming infuriating and you have to take breaks. You must take breaks at this point. Once you start using compression, mid-side EQ, mid-side compression, bus groups, putting stuff on the bus group and like maybe side chaining your kick to your bass, side chaining vocals, side chaining the delay of your vocals, wideners, using widener plugins, getting to a point where you don't know where you've gone wrong, EQing, dynamic EQ, sidechain the master. Analyzing frequencies, yeah. And then you discover, oh fuck, it's none of that. It's probably my speakers. This is something that I'm having an issue with right now. I have a bass trap in my studio. So in my studio, it sounds like there's a lot of bass information in my music, and it sounds really nice. And then anytime I'm rendering stuff down, I have to take it up to Guy's studio, and I play it on Guy's studio, and it sounds so tinny. But in here, it sounds fine. So, do I use reference ID? What's that? Is that Sony Works one? No, Sonar Works. No, but I might do. I might. Do you know what? I think I know what it is. My Mackies are a bit too close to the back wall. So what's happening is the sound's hitting the back and then coming back at me. So it's a DSP. What's a DSP? What do you mean by DSP? To adjust my audio. But yeah, and it's all about all of these tiny little incremental things that we learn. Digital sound processor. I need a digital sound processor. Deep sensual penetration. What do you mean, Dr. Drew Clute? What's a digital signal processor? Can you give me an example what you mean? Digital signal processor. Do you mean like an analyzer? A dirty smell plug. This close to the wall, the higher the frequency you talk about is. It's called SBIR. There we go. I did not know that. It's like a smart EQ. Okay, cool. I will look into that because I've never heard of that before. You mean, I actually have a plugin called Smart EQ. And Smart EQ, most things are DSP really, anything from an EQ to a compressor. Oh, right, okay, so this is just a broad term that you're saying, that you're talking about here. Yeah, I do have something called Smart EQ, and you can put that on the master, or you can put it on like a bus group, or you can even put it on an individual channel, and then it will kind of like modify what it thinks it should sound like. Like, it would be interesting to do it in that way, and I do have a Smart EQ, so I could put that on the master and see what it looks like. However, I'm a massive believer in using my own ears, and my worry is if I start using a plugin to do that for me, I'm not learning why the sound is sounding different. Now, I like the fact that I've been having an issue in my studio because it forced me to work it out. Was it something I was doing within the program? No, it's because I found out that these speakers should not be that close to the wall. What I mean is a DSP that can measure the sound response of your room and system adjustments. Yeah, so that's what we were talking about before, SonarWorks. So yeah, it would be. You're right. It'd be interesting to find where the sweet spot is in here, and also for all of us, it is a good idea. And also to see like where the dips are. I mean, I think I know where that will be, but it would be nice just to know. I mean, at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm just compensating for that. And then it's kind of like it is working out okay. Or I'm using my flat response. Where are they? My Ultrazone producer headphones to have a listen in there, and then obviously, like I said, going up to Guy's studio and having a listen up there. I mean, it's workable. I can work around it. And then the other issue is once I sort the issue out, then I have to readjust how I make music again. So yeah, I think I might do, but it's quite expensive, isn't it? SonarWorks. So maybe I'll make friends with someone who's got it and they can come to the studio. But yeah, I mean, like, okay, my point is I found a way to work around that. But this is the point where when, like with Ryan, he's been learning this in a very innocent, fun kind of a way. And then once you realise this is what you want to do and you start taking it more seriously, it can be mind-bogglingly overwhelming because of all of the variables and all of the possibilities that it could be. It's like the worst, best relationship you'll ever have. It's expensive. Counterproductive sometimes. You won't have any friends. Would you use HD25s for studio work? Do you mean Sennheiser HD25s? No. No, because they're DJ headphones, aren't they? So, I mean, it would be... No, because they will be coloured. And you install every VST all at the same time. Yes, Jam, exactly. Yeah, maybe don't use DJ headphones for making music. But if that's all you've got at the moment, then that's fine. But have something else that you can listen. Have another set of headphones or some speakers that you can listen to compare what it sounds like. So yeah, exactly what Chris has said there. There's way too much treble. They won't be flat. They'll be coloured. Same with Beats by Dre headphones with extra bass or whatever. You want ones which are as transparent as possible. And even then you want to try it on different systems and stuff. Guy actually made his very first tunes on a hi-fi system with just normal hi-fi speakers. So keeping it simple, I think, is the key here. Dr. Drew Clute says, use headphones you use every day so you know how it should sound. Yeah. However, I'd say be careful of using headphones predominantly because, you know, like this stereo information side of things, when we're listening on left and right speakers, we get a mix between the left and the right within a space around us. Now, when we've got headphones in, unless you've got some of this really cool, like, software that will emulate a space for you, which again, I'm putting all of my trust in that software and I'm a bit, I don't know. You've only got left and right here, so you're not really getting true stereo awareness. Some good ideas there in the chat, guys. Hello, Mike and Emery. Let's get on with the next tune. Okay, this is Tom Sleeps featuring Cheryl Holland and Amy Eriks, and this is, it's a lovely tune. This lovely tune. Pardon me. Really like this, and it's called, I can't say that word. My dyslexia is really bad today. Ephemeral. Ephemeral. I'm going to get the computer to say it for me.
Ephemeral.
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 I've never heard that word before.
Ephemeral.
Fashions are ephemeral. New ones regularly drive out the old. I've learnt a new word.
Ephemeral.
There we go. Yay. Ephemeral. I've never heard that word before. That's well cool. Oh, I wish that I've got a 50-inch monitor in front of me and I still run out of room. This is just silly. Here we go. Tom Sleeps, Cheryl Holland and Amy Eriks, Ephemeral. Has anyone else heard that word before? Same as ethereal. No, ethereal means something different. Sounds the same though, doesn't it? It's nice. I like the word. Hello, the Wise Wolf. Guys, please get following Mama Claire, please, because she's amazing. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, yeah, file. Okay, here we go. Wow. Hi, Nikita. Wow, wow, wee wah. I really, 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 really like that. Really liked it. I loved the... Is it a viola? It sounds... I mean, trance lends itself to classic. To classical. It says error while loading user. I wonder if Cheryl can, because Cheryl knows how to whisper. Get Cheryl to send your SoundCloud or whatever it is that you want us to put in the chat, because you won't be able to put a link in the chat. Normal violin. Oh, normal violin. It sounds amazing. Recorded live. How lovely. See, we live in a time now where that's quite fascinating that you've used an actual recorded instrument. There's a really great learning curve to recording live and using recordings in music in Adores. A lot more to think about in terms of what microphone you're going to use, noise floor, taking any rumble and making sure there's nothing in the bottom end. Don't say anything, Richie. There's a few more steps to be taken when recording in 32-bit floating. That's always a good idea if you're recording vocals as well. That way there's no ceiling and it won't digitally distort, which you don't want. Don't want that. So it's nice to know that you've got some live elements in there. And what a nice way to, like, you could take that, into events and do a live performance version of that, which would be wonderful. Yeah. I found the violin kind of drowned out the louder parts of the beats. Yeah, it was quite high in the mix, but I kind of understand why that would be the case now that I know that it's been recorded in live. I quite like that because it was kind of like acting like a second vocal. Yeah. Yeah, he pushed it. Yeah, you definitely did push it backwards when the leads played. It was definitely balanced. But I liked how it had its moment. I really did like that. I think when you've got something that's wanting to take the focal point in any project, it has to have that moment. Years ago, what people used to do was ride the come on, brain. When they're actually doing, like, recording the whatever track it was, the volumes of each channel would constantly be being moved by the mix engineer. I'll have a look, Cheryl. So, and this is a really important thing to remember in our music, is sometimes when you want something to stay in, but you've got another element in there, just having a bit of volume or automation, just as simple as that. Doesn't even need to be, a filtering it down or something. Just a bit of changing in the, yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a really nice, it's a really good thing to remember to do that, is to not be afraid of turning things down for a bit when you've got other things coming in. Because we tend, in dance music, we tend to only do that when we're coming to, like, crescendos from into the drop, and we'll filter everything out, bam, just as it comes back in again. But sometimes it's okay to do that, to allow space for other instruments coming in as well. Yes, really, really, really liked it. Who said that about chill step? Live it in chill step as well. Yes. See, that there could be a lot of different remixes of this. Who was singing on it? I had the CLH music one that you... Are you singing on it, Cheryl? Yay! Yeah, that's Cheryl's one. But Tom, if you can send me your... come on, brain, social media things, please do, and then we can put it in the chat then. Just ask Cheryl. She'll be able to send it over for me. DJ Solar says, I adjust volumes in the track all the time when I mix down. Wasn't sure if that's the right way to go about it, but it works for me. Then it's the right way to go about it, baby. It really is. That's weird, Cheryl. Hang on. Let me message you back quickly, and then you can see if it pops up your end. I've just messaged you, Cheryl. So if you send me Tom's as well, I'll make sure it's in the chat. While we listen to the next one. Cool. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. Really, really enjoyed it. Okay, next up we have got Chris Bain, Find a Way. Direct MC, I've just seen your message. So leave that with me and I'll sort that out. Okay, so we've got Chris Bain and this is Find a Way.
Just take my hand and we can find a way.
Chris Bain, Find a Way. Nothing to say. I have nothing to add at all. Loved it. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. So the direct MC says it could just be the crap headphones I'm using at work, but it sounds like the vocal could possibly use a slight volume nudge, 1 to 2 dB. There you go. So possibly do that. If you are struggling with getting your vocals to come through, bit of side chaining can help as well. Even a bit of an EQ boost sometimes can like make something pop out a bit more. But yeah, sometimes it's as simple as just bumping it up a little bit. Bump it up, bump it, bump it, bump it. Yeah, it wasn't sticking out to me. It sounded cool. I like the kind of the whoosh, whoosh, whoosh mantra kind of a thing as well. I wasn't sure whether it was a sound in it or if it was vocal. It's like whispering. It's really cool. Yeah, Chris, can you please send me a whisper? Do you know how to do that? Yay! There it is. Here's Chris's Facebook. Please make sure you follow each other, guys, because this is where the magic happens. It's very difficult unless you've got a big team around you these days. I'm already following you, Chris. I've just checked. Very, very difficult to get traction, especially when you've got like other things that you need to do, like work. Ooh. Also, I put the Vox on 2 channels, one to the left and one to the right, and turn off quantize, then offset them very slightly. Wow. That's really interesting. I might give that little trick a go, see what it sounds like. Yeah, I don't think you'll have any problems getting that signed, Chris, at all. It's really good. That's a really cool tip. Thank you, Jem. See, this is what I love about this show. Everyone knows something that someone doesn't know. And I love that. That's the thing with music. Music and music production. Anything to do with music. It's endless. Now that can be overwhelming or it can be exciting. I kind of oscillate between it being a bit of, whoa, what the fuck? And why? And, ooh, let's watch another 12 tutorials on this synth. Well, this technique. And confuse myself further. But yeah, that's what it's all about. That's like mono deluxe, mono signal split over left and right. Ooh, is that a plugin that does it for you? I use a lot of Waves plugins on my Voxes for similar effect. I always found Waves to be really CPU intensive and a bit dated now, but some of them are very good. But they were always a kerfuffle. And when I open them up, it's like, it's a split cable. Cool. It's a digital split cable. Yeah, and vocals in itself, vocals as a whole rabbit hole. But there's some really good plugins now that help you to get a good, obviously, like having a good source. Having good source audio is always the best thing to do. But yeah, vocals can be. Yeah, I'm a bit of a control freak like that, Jem. And it's good to know what it is that you're doing instead of just using plugins for everything, which is great. It's really nice to know why this is working and what it is actually physically doing to the sound. What is happening when you're using a certain plugin, which is why, I mean, I do use side chaining plugins. For example, like we talk about LFO Tool a lot and Shaper Box. But do we know why we're using that? You know, what is the purpose of it? And could you get the same results through learning how to shape your sounds better at source instead of just, you know, using these sidechain plugins? And then there's two different terminologies for sidechain, and I'm saying it in terms of like a volume envelope. Yeah, there is production and then there is vocals. Yeah. Yeah, defo. Patience is the key. Yeah, I've learned a lot. You remember I said earlier about learning music production is like a parallel journey into self-discovery. I have absolutely learned a lot of patience with myself. Learning not to be frustrated. Didn't feel good, does it? It doesn't feel good. And when we feel frustrated because and it's to do with something that we love, like making music, it's awful because then we feel shitty about going into a studio session because we're just like, oh God, I'm going to feel shit again. That stopped me making music for a good amount of time, you know. I had to really work on that. I had to work on not putting so much pressure on doing a full track in one day. I would approach a studio session now in blocks of maybe 10 minutes. I'll say, I'm just going to open up FL. I'm just going to open up Ableton. And I'm just going to, I don't know, collect together some effects that I'm going to use. Or get a few kicks down. Or start layering a few kicks in phalanx or whatever. And that's it. Then I'll have a break. And then at least then I'm doing it. But to go in, I used to put so much pressure on myself. I'm going to make a whole track now. And it would always not happen. You know? You mean the ducking sidechain? Well, they both have a ducking effect, the House of House. But they're just two different ways to go about it. So you have sidechaining a kick drum to the bass or the bass to the kick drum, which means that every time the kick is triggered, it will send a signal to lower the volume of the bass, for example, in terms of it being essentially a volume envelope, which is what compression is. But then another way to do it is to literally stick a volume envelope plugin or a sidechain tool like Kick, LFO Tool, Duck, Shaper Box, and it will do it for you. It will cut out the sound from that side. So there's two ways of doing the same thing, but it's ultimately better to understand how to shape your sound. So if there's a bit of the bass that you are needing to take out in order for the kick to sit there, why not go into that bass sound? For example, if it's a sample, you could mess around with the volume envelope in that sample, so to just slightly offset the attack, sustain, delay and release, you know, to shape that sound. So but doing it that way that I've just described allows you to really understand what you're doing to each sound and why that's creating space. Whereas when you're using a plugin, it's kind of sticking a plaster over it. Doesn't mean to say it's not useful, because it is useful. But it's good to know why that's working. because going back to what Jem said about using two vocals, putting them left and right, slightly shifting one to the side, she knows what she's doing there in order for that to be something that works. But if you didn't know that that's what it's doing when you're using these plugins and then you're using other plugins, then that's where you get confused, because you won't know what you've done wrong to get back to that. Yes, but the term sidechaining in general means using the signal of one channel to manipulate something on another channel. Only everyone refers to it as volume shaper. Yes, they do. That's what I said in the beginning, was there's two meanings for that terminology. You're right. There's the terminology, the old school terminology of sidechaining. There's actually a third. The third being you can sidechain one track in the mixer to send a signal to another track in the mixer and also out to the master. So like a bus, in effect, or a send. But that's also called sidechaining in FL Studio, for example. So yeah, these are the things that can confuse. Tal Filter is a free plugin that you can shape LFOs with. Ooh, I like Tal stuff. I used to use the Tal sampler quite a bit. Oh, thanks for reminding me about Trackspacer, JLF. I still need to try that out. Cool. I like how you're all suggesting plugins to each other. Now, someone called Joint told me yesterday about a plugin, not a plugin, a VST, really cool one, and it's free. I'm going to drop it in the chat. I haven't yet downloaded this, but it was already in my bookmarks when he told me about it yesterday. Oh, there he is. Hello. Yay. There it is, vital.audio. Go and check that out. Dayhill made a patcher version of Trackspacer. Yeah, he's amazing, isn't he? He's so geeky. So yeah, go and try out Vital as well. Looks amazing. LFO tool is good, but I just find the interface. I don't like the interface very much. I quite like one that I've used recently called Duck, and I love Shaperbox because it's multi. Come on, brain. What word am I trying to think? Multi what? When it splits all the frequency ranges. Not multi-purpose, no. Multiple. Multipass. Multi-band, thank you. Oh, God. Thank you. Yes, it's a multi-grain. Honestly, it's the best and worst thing being neuroatypical sometimes. Like, words just evade me constantly. But we get there in the end. Thank you, guys. Thank you for helping me with that. Okay, next up we have got... Where did we get to? We got to Chris, didn't we? Bosky's next. Bosky and Technique, and it is Big Boss.
remember who you are, what you were meant to do. I cheated death thanks to you. And thanks to you, I've left my mark. You have too. You've written your own history. You're your own man. Where we are today, we built it. This story, this legend, it's ours. You're big boss.
Contact me by codec. The frequency is 140.85. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, Bosky and Technique, Big Boss. Obviously, I heard that earlier while I was going to get snacks and have a piss. So I've already heard this track already today. As I've said before, Bosky, you are getting better and better and better. You're like, from the move that you made from making hard house into the more trancier realms of hard house, banging trance. This has been a really good move for you, and maybe in a way it forced you into thinking about the mix down, letting everything have its space. Like, trance is probably one of the harder ones to make, like, genre-wise. There's a lot more to think about. I think that having a rooting in hard house was great for you to then take that a bit further. But this has been a really good thing for you. Yeah, it's night and day, says JLF. Yeah. And I give that approach when I'm talking to students about being a better DJ, for example, by mixing different genres. Not at the same time. It's not what I mean by that, but being able to mix different genres, because when you mix different genres, it forces you to listen to the elements in a different way, and each genre will require a different way of mixing and transitioning as a DJ, and that's also true in music production. Learning how to produce different genres of music will give you different disciplines. Yeah, it makes you listen to the sounds in different ways. It will also make you aware of why certain sounds are used in these other genres, and also arrangement wise, composition wise, it will be completely different from genre to genre. There's a lot more, because by doing that, basically you're teaching yourself, like, you're teaching yourself what fundamentally makes that genre. I don't know if some of you were here at the beginning when I was mentioning, when I first started my journey out, I was trying to make hard house using dead mouse pre-shifted claps and sounds that weren't traditionally or authentically from hard house, or and that would apply to any genre, even to the point that probably even have a different samples folder for different genres as well. But yeah, there's even like groove, swing, mix down, arrangement, instruments, melody. Will it have a bass progression? Scales? All of those things will all be different. Or there'll be some similarities with all different genres. So it's cowbells. Yeah, exactly, Jem. Yeah, learning harmonies, top lines. That's more like vocals, isn't it? Counter melodies, progressions. Try not to be too obvious. There's a great plugin called Scalar. Scalar is very good for this kind of thing. Interestingly, says Chris Bain, it was only after finishing a piano house album that I finally managed to make the trance I like. There you go. That's well cool. Yeah. So that was kind of like your midway point. Big Yogi Man says, I've started producing hard stuff. Terracore, Frenchcore and Gabba. Wow. Wow. Yeah, see, again, like to the uninitiated, and I put myself in that category, it can just sound like, oh, it's just noise. But it isn't just noise at all. Well, it is noise, but it's organised noise. I learned to DJ with Terracore. Wow! Oh my God! What? I remember the first time I tried to mix hardcore. I found that so hard because it would just go out of time so quickly. So quickly because obviously it's faster. You got to make sure that you don't miss any of those beats, baby. God. But yeah, just always expand your horizons. Always listen to different genres. Have a go at making some of them. Something that Guy told me a long time ago was, he said, what are you doing in here with that hammer? No, he didn't. No. He said, come on, brain. Always have a genre of music that you like listening to that you're not going to produce. And the reason for that is when you listen to it, you won't be pulling it apart. You'll just be listening to it. Was he wearing a flat cap? So, and I do understand what he was saying by that. I think it is important to have a genre of music that you don't make. Yeah. Just so you can stay enjoying it. You can stay enjoying the magic of it. Yeah. I used a Les Mis sample last week in a trance tune. Really? Wow. Les Miserables. Thank you, Timber. Love you, mate. Next up, we have got DMC. Sunrise. Here we go. Run DMC. It's the direct MC that's in the chat right now. Here we go. go, guys. That is Sunrise DMC. Free download. Just follow that link that I've put in the chat. I really like this. Do you know what I would have... I know it's now out now, so there's no going back. But I would have loved to have the vocal come back in again after that main drop. You know, just before that outro. And it works so well as a hardcore tune. Yeah, this is a good one, isn't it? This is a good one. I don't think I've heard any remixes, you know, unless it's other trance remixes of Ratty Sunshine. I've definitely never heard a hardcore version of it, but it works so well in happy hardcore. It works well in a major key as well. So, like, the original's in a minor key, but then it has some major elements to it, whereas on this, it's relied more heavily on it being in a major key, and it works really well. The vocal just fits that. Hi, Mike Formers. Yeah, I wanted to hear that vocal nearer to the outro as well after the main drop. Yeah, but I really liked it. Yay! Make sure you download that one, guys. Get yourselves a copy. I'm going to get mine now. Promos. There. Bish bash bosh. Yeah, I've just downloaded it. Anyone else downloaded it yet? I want to do some terrorcore remixes of trance tracks. Reckon some trance would work really well. Defo. Now, a lot of the older happy hardcore stuff from back in the day, the like BRISK and Ham stuff, those riffs that were in those kind of tunes, you could slow them down and then like copy the MIDI notes from that, and it would always sound like a epic trance riff every time. You're welcome, the Direct MC. You are very welcome. Thank you for submitting it. Next up, we have got Twiddle and the Brain. This is A Million Dreams. Now, who is this? This is someone and their son. Is it Tony Perkins? And I think they might be in the chat. Is it Tony? Tony, are you there? Are you there? Mary loves Dick. There. Pertmeister. Are there any entities? Any astral beings? No? Oh. Oh, well. Twiddle in the Brain. Here we go. A Million Dreams.
And then I got a million dreams.
Just started from the beginning.
And then I got a million dreams. Ideas? Oh, man, I got a million dreams. Ideas? Oh, man, I got a million dreams. That's all I do is dream. All the time.
I thought you played piano.
No, this is not piano. This is dreaming.
Oh, what a nice outro as well. I couldn't not play that. And I even had to skip back to the beginning as well. It's almost got psytrance arrangement qualities to this. And it's got quite a bit of psytrance influences in this. But it's really different. There's lots of lovely textures in that. There's lots of layers. There's many surprises. There's a lot of ear candy. Stuff was giving me dopamine hits. You know, you were bringing stuff in that, you know, when you're not expecting it, but still in a musical way. Someone said they were getting lost in it. Yeah, I felt like that as well. Yeah, I really, really liked it. How different as well. It's a really nice piece. It really is. And I suppose working with your son, you would have kind of allowed for that creative flow a bit more. When you're a predominantly hard house or like genre specific producer. You naturally gravitate towards the same instruments, arrangements, noises, samples, ideas. We box ourselves in. And that's the great thing about collaboration, especially with your child. Kids don't think too much about what should be done. Yeah, exactly. I've done that myself with one of my girls, Sasha. Years ago, we made a track together. It was nothing like what I would ever have made, and that was what I loved about it. Was, you know, she was giving out the ideas, and there's a really there's a really profound meaning in that. So if you can't get hold of a child, don't do that, because it's a bit pedo-y. Then you can get in contact with your own inner child. You know, don't nick one. It won't go down well. Well, you see, Your Honour, I was watching this stream by DJ Amber D, and she said, I should do a collaboration. Oh, all right. With a child. I was just trying to get in touch with my inner child. Yeah, you can touch your inner child. Don't touch anyone else's. That's the rule. Steal a child. Oh, this is why we can't have nice things. But yeah, this is the beauty of the profound. Before I have to make silly jokes out of everything, I can't not. Come on, it's me you're talking to. There is something very profound in the innocence of being childlike in creative expression. My 14-year-old son is coming to live with me full time in a few weeks. I'm going to try and teach him to be a happy hardcore MC. Yay! Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, and see, this track wouldn't have been made if it wasn't for, you know, having the influence of that other person. It can work the other way. You know, it can work the other way. You can have collaborations with people that you just don't gel with, and it can be a total nightmare. Or, you know, the two of you might have extremely opposing ideas of what to make, and then it just doesn't even sound like anything. Oh my goodness, Chewy! Thank you for raiding us. How was your stream? Welcome in, raiders. Come on in. We're doing the demo drop at the moment. I hope you had a good stream, mate. JLS says, I've been enjoying doing some collabs recently. Guys, please get following Chewy. Thank you for your love and support, mate, by raiding us. Yeah, I always learn loads when I do collaborations. There's always more to learn. Like, even if it's confirming things that you already do, or finding out someone's doing something in a slightly different way, and it might be one or two steps less needed, or whatever it is. Just talking with like-minded people. I mean, this is a collaboration of sorts. But then also, I like working on my own as well. I don't know if any of you guys are the same. But when you're doing stuff for yourself, it can sometimes just carry on and carry on and carry on. But if you've got someone else in the room with you, it can snap you out of getting too involved in EQing hi-hats and messing around too much on cutting up vocals and stuff. You know, it keeps you moving, you know, just to change up what you're doing. So for context there, Jem's an engineer as well. I was talking to Random But Raw recently when I was in the studio with him about engineering stuff, and it's something that as an engineer you have to be okay with, is people just coming in and not really having any direction for the track. I was always someone that had ideas with me, even if it was just a reference track. Before I could make my own music, I would always have like a MIDI file or a vocal, something that I really wanted to use every time, and I'd be always asking questions, and I would always put in input as well. Like if I didn't know the right terminology, I'd just make the noises. So I'd say like, can you make the kick go whoop whoop, and like whoever I was in the studio with, like Maddox or something, to go, what you mean, like reverse it? I was like, yes, do that, yay. So I'd know what I wanted, but I wouldn't know like necessarily how to say it. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely think it's important to go in with ideas, really is. And then when you start doing it yourself, you have formulated questions then. So at first it's just watch them. Then, like if there's anything that you're not sure of. I remember a friend of mine once. Oh my God. My mate Samira, she was at mine once in the studio. I've told this story before, but she was talking to me about something and I wasn't really listening. And I was involving myself, like EQing something. And I was using Fruity EQ. And if anyone's used Fruity EQs, this is the same on a lot of EQs. It had it was a 7-band EQ, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And all the numbers are in little coloured balls. So like number 1's like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, whatever. All coloured balls in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And she's going on, and like at some point she must have like looked up at what I was doing. She's like, are you even listening to me? And then she looked at the screen, she goes, what are you fucking doing? You just fucking sat there playing bingo. And I was like, what? What do you mean I sat there playing bingo? She's like, the fucking numbers, the number balls that you got on the screen. I was like, ah! What? I was like, what? So I was playing bingo. She thought I was doing like some kind of fucking national lottery or something. Like, but when I looked at it back at it again, with the eyes of someone that doesn't make music, it looked like I was playing bingo. Amazing. Buttercup says, can I play music while you chat? No, because the music that we're playing, we are playing it when we're not talking, because this is a demo drop show. So what we do is we listen to each other's music that they've made in silence. And then after that, we discuss lots of things to do with music production. So the stuff that I'm talking about now, it might be boring to some people, but it's all sometimes vaguely music production related, but it's all to do with music. So yeah, with slight tangents, yes. But that's the beauty of music production. So with that said, our next track is MC Duke and Kid Dynamo, and this is Riffin' Hammer Smash Mix. The bingo EQ, yeah.
Another jam from the miracle maker, wizard of the word, MC Undertaker. I'm coming back for the ducks who made me mad. No chances. Here's Dad. See, I'm known to speak scientifically. Other rappers have great difficulty. Step to me, that's MC suicide. Next snap, you die. Another whipping, 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 whipping. Cause I'm whipping, 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 whipping. Cause I'm whipping, 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 whipping.
Nice one, mate. Oh, yeah, really, really like that. I love the fact that Kid Dynamo made this track because I mentioned a bounce remix of this that I've got on vinyl. And it is this one, isn't it? Is it this one? And I was like, can you do a remix of this? He was like, yes. It's just for mixings out. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Having that carrying on at the end. Yeah, really, really like it. I love the screeches. You delving into a bit of the I know you said it was kind of like a hard styley elements in there. It's all energy, isn't it? It really gives it that power. Yeah. Really, really liked it. I don't know what it is, to be honest. In a good way, But I think for your style of music as well, Kid Dynamo, it's good that this has pushed you into a different area, so that you're not getting yourself saturated with making the same tunes over and over. And I love your woos. It was weird not hearing the woo, because basically Kid Dynamo always uses a woo or a woo 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 in his tracks. It's kind of like a thing. It's a recurring theme, but there aren't any in this. But we have got screeches. So yeah, you come up with something sounding, yeah, it's a cross between hard trance and hard style. There you go. Yeah, I enjoyed it, whatever it was. The noises were great. I loved it. Thank you, mate. Okay. Next up. Let me know when you've finished our track as well, Kid Dynamo. And I'll be able to start playing it. We'll get it sent out. Yeah, he's amazing, isn't he, Atomic? Yep, completely agree. And again, you know what we were saying about collabing and being in the studio with different people. I've been in the studio twice with Kid Dynamo now. I can't even tell you how he does things. Like it's a very haphazard way of working, and how he gets that sound that he gets out of it. It's, you know, if you ask him about, like, he has a background in breakcore, was it? And his dad is also in a band, so he's got a lot of hardware. The way that he like links up the arpeggiator on an old keyboard, so it's triggering the 303, and then it goes into a small Allen and Heath mixing desk, which has got a few effects on there. Like it's basic, but it's also complex as well. And it's amazing. I've never seen anyone work in the way that he works. And he uses Acid Pro as well. So he can't have VSTs or like third-party plugins in his version of Acid. Thank you, Kid Dynamo. Keep me in the loop. But I honestly think this is a great example of limitations really help you to be creative with what you have. Yeah, I did the twiddling of the knobs. Yep, that was my input. Thank you. Yeah, it is proper old school, but it's not. It's like it just works. It just works for him, and I love that about making music. We don't all have to be doing it the same way. In fact, we shouldn't be. We really shouldn't be, because that's your personalisation. Okay, next up we've got Turbo Terrier, and this is Total Annihilation. You guys are gonna love this. Oh, Kid Dynamo, can you? Oh no, I've done it. I've put your links in the chat. That's fine. Here we go. Wow, mate, take a bow. Please, just do it. Just take a bow. Cheryl, thank you so much. It was really, really good to have you here. Yeah, thank you for sending in your track. And yeah, I love this tune. Turbo Terrier, this is my favourite one. Clap, clap, clap. Yeah, so much energy. Very powerful, yeah. And really true to that sound, that happy hardcore, old school vibe. Oh, what do you use? What do you use for like making music? What doors and stuff? FO Studio, yay! Whee! Cool. I'm glad to hear that. It just goes to show, really, doesn't it? It's not. It really is not about what you use. It's how you use it. Yeah. Honestly, really, really, really love that. Really, really love it. It says on the thing. It said something about a vinyl release of it or something. Are you going to get that pressed to vinyl? Have you got it signed? These old school sounds are now part of the new school. Yeah, well, a good idea is a good idea. And a lot of us are at the age now where they saw this the first time round. You're going to get it pressed. Yay! Yay! Brilliant. And it's not signed yet. Wow. Have you sent it off to any labels? But you know what? You don't really even need to these days. You can do it yourself. DistroKid, Bandcamp. You know this. Who's Darwin? Yeah, there might be someone who's got a connection for you in hardcore to get this sent out. Like, it's really good. Really, really good. And of course, having a label on side would be great. Oh yes, okay, I know of them. Yeah, so there you go. So like having the backing of a label it really is a good idea. It really is it's great to do your own thing as well, but you know, if you're getting your name out there, having the backing of a label takes a lot of pressure off you. It introduces you to their demographic. See what they say. Yeah. Yay. Cool. Well, thank you guys. That's a wrap, as they say in the biz. Yeah. I'm going to go and chill out now. Woosah. After all that. It's been wonderful to see you all. It's my day off tomorrow. I'll be whizzing around the astral plane, no doubt, and I will see you on Thursday. Stay where you are because we're going to go and see DJ Safri. It's a rap and a rap. Yeah. A rap and a rap. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. And yeah, keep on being creative. Yeah, the worst thing that they can do is say no. Exactly. Keep being creative. Keep doing what you're doing. Yay. Go on, son. Oh. Go on, you little scamps. You're welcome. I love doing this. It's, you know, it helps me as much as it helps anyone else. It's all good to be in this kind of headspace and, you know, talking with like-minded people. And yeah, I will see you on Thursday. Mwah. Bye, guys. Bye.